Hello and welcome back to Vizura Recaps. The film opens with a blonde girl packing her belongings and leaving out a portrait of her father. She's little, carrying a prize and being held by her father, Jonas. Unfortunately, Jonas is now in prison and he and the girl's mother split due to a quarrel at home. The girl's name is Noah and she is currently with her mother. They're abandoning their previous house in town because it contains too many terrible memories. Noah's mother's new husband is William and they're lucky because he's quite wealthy. Noah's new house is like a castle and now she meets her new stepfather, William. When Noah stepped in, she was astounded to find the entire home coated with gold. There were also several exotic sports vehicles parked inside. Noah will be moving into this house and beginning a new chapter in her life. Noah's mother hopes her daughter will feel at ease and transition well to their new house and family. Hopefully, she will eventually forget the difficult experiences they experienced at their previous home. Noah's mother has now led her to her room, which is quite wonderful because it overlooks the ocean. Noah was taken aback by the vista when he first saw this mansion. Noah even tells her mother how fantastic it is that she selected William as her companion. Noah had some free time when she unpacked in her room. As she went, she observed a white figure behind some foliage. Noah, feeling apprehensive, returned inside to fetch a lunch from the fridge, unknowing that the guy in white was following her. The handsome man turned out to be William's son, Nick. Noah and Nick are now step-siblings. They figured out their family tree, although it is a mixed one. Noah had a negative first impression of her new bigger brother in the moonlight. She believed Nick was overconfident, most likely due to his wealth. They're all eating dinner together tonight in an attempt to bond. They were having fun fooling about when Nick announced that he needed to go see some buddies for business. He mumbled something to Noah as he left the restaurant, but we're not sure what it was. After Nick left, Noah abruptly said farewell and William instructed Nick to ensure Noah arrived home safely. It allows them to get to know each other better. Nick has driven Noah home, but she is still talking in the car. Nick is busy playing with the automobile since he enjoys racing. While they talk, Noah says something that irritates Nick. He hits the brakes without thinking, leaving Noah stranded on a barren road in the middle of nowhere. Noah is outraged that Nick ignores her. She has no idea who to ask for aid at the time and her phone is nearly dead. Noah has to wave down a passing black automobile for assistance, but she is concerned that it may be deadly, like a serial murderer. Fortunately, Noah meets a wonderful man named Manuel. They begin speaking and Manuel asks Noah to a party. It's filled with young individuals who are all involved in vehicle gangs. Manuel urges Noah to be careful because there is a gang assembling and the most deadly group is commanded by a man named Ronnie. He has a snake tattoo around his neck and another with a cobra wrapped around him. Manuel claims Ronnie was just released from prison yesterday and there are more gangs in the area. He introduces Noah to them. When the leader turned around, it was Nick, the gang's top member. Noah was surprised to see her elder stepbrother flirting with all of the females surrounding him. When Nick stopped to potty, Noah followed him, seeking vengeance for being abandoned on the road. Nick tormented her till he accidentally discovered a tattoo behind her ear. Its meaning was unclear, but it appeared essential. After Nick returned to partying, a friendly girl called Jenna approached Noah. She was also a member of Nick's group. Jenna asked Noah to participate in the fun. Ronnie's pals approached Noah. He handed Noah a drink that turned out to be laced with narcotics. Noah, however, drank it grudgingly since he was unfamiliar with this upscale lifestyle and felt compelled to do so. Nick arrived shortly after and promptly interfered, beating up the individual who was causing issues. Nick still cares about Noah and wanted to ensure her safety. Nick then took Noah home in his beloved red automobile. Noah was already intoxicated from the tainted drink at this point. She couldn't walk properly anymore, so Nick helped her to her room to avoid being noticed. Nick studied the tattoo behind Noah's ear again, interested about it. Noah woke the next morning and quickly met with Nick to find out what had transpired the night before. Noah was quite anxious. Then came the day they'd been waiting for, the race. Nick was set to race against Ronnie, who had recently been released from prison. At the moment, Noah was also present. Eventually, Nick won the race. They all proceeded to celebrate by dancing and partying after Noah appeared to be moved. Later, she was observed with another guy. Nick witnessed this from a distance and appeared to be envious or offended. He demanded Noah stay in his car, fearful that anything would happen. Meanwhile, Nick went to get Janet so the celebration could continue. Noah, seated in Nick's automobile, nodded joyfully, missing the excitement of racing. Nick could only watch in awe as Noah drove his car like a pro, even competing against Ronnie. Everyone on the street became delighted when they discovered Noah was driving Nick's automobile. This was how Noah began to achieve prominence among the city's major auto gangs. But Ronnie arrived and protested that it was unfair. He claimed Nick should have been the one racing against him, despite the fact that Ronnie had first challenged Noah to the race. With wide eyes, Ronnie demanded immediate payment from Nick. Sticking to the regulations, Nick agreed to pay Ronnie $246 million to resolve everything. However, Ronnie refused to accept it. To keep things fair, Ronnie requested that the locks on Nick's red automobile be changed. Nick quickly grabbed his vehicle keys and pushed Ronnie aside. Despite Noah's strong objections to Ronnie's effort to skew the truth about his defeat, Ronnie cautioned Nick not to allow Noah roam around if he wanted him to be safe. Ronnie was clearly still furious about losing. It's worth mentioning that Noah appeared to have a problematic relationship with his father from the start. Then Noah observed Nick's damaged hand from the fight and swiftly wrapped it in a bandana. Her physical and mental health had improved significantly by the next morning. Until the evening, their parents were preoccupied with their company's expensive celebration. Meanwhile, Nick, who had just returned inside, saw Noah laying alone on the sofa. Instead of heading straight to his room, he chose to sit with her. This was the first time Nick appeared frightened around his younger stepsister. He began asking Noah how she managed to make those fantastic spins throughout the race. Noah revealed that her father used to be a great racer and had coached her since she was a child. She has even won a few races before. Nick was startled to learn how cool she was. Noah also told Nick about her dread, recalling how cruel her father had been and how he had once attempted to harm Noah and her mother, leaving marks on her tummy. Noah wished her father would remain in prison indefinitely after this horrible incident. Soon after, they continued to exchange looks. They gradually became closer till they discovered they had hidden affections for each other. Despite knowing it was forbidden to be step-siblings, they couldn't contain their growing attachment and did the unimaginable. And as they were doing this, someone unexpectedly arrived. The next morning, Noah cleaned the automobile and he saw something extraordinary. Soon later, a white automobile arrived, driven by Dan, Noah's out-of-town lover. Noah was astonished to see Dan appear so abruptly. Nick ran inside the home and passionately kissed Noah. Nick then saw Noah and Dan from upstairs via the window. Noah's mother had joined him inside. Dan would be staying at Nick's place for a few days, which was bound to cause havoc. Despite being with Dan, Noah no longer seemed to have love for him after finding happiness with her stepbrother. Every day, Dan begs Noah to hang out away from the throng, but their plans are usually derailed because Nick gets in the way. It's fairly clear that Nick feels jealous. Meanwhile, Ronnie continues to plan ways to kidnap Noah. It's all because he's clinging on to an old resentment. Then, a mystery figure appears, as ambitious as Ronnie himself. Nick is followed by Ronnie as he leaves a restaurant. Nick is beaten, but he manages to escape. Aside from his passion of racing, Nick likes a good brawl. When he returned home, injured and abused, he noticed Dan entering Noah's room. Nick then chooses to walk to the garden to relax and look at the moon, feeling envious. Surprisingly, Nick discovers Noah resting on the porch. Nick sits close to Noah, and in the brilliant moonlight, he spots a scrape on Noah's stomach. Noah, alarmed, notices Nick bleeding and hastily assists him with a makeshift bandage. Dan, who had been looking for Noah, soon discovers them kissing. Noah realizes that remaining in this place is no longer worth it now that they've been caught together. As a result, Nick and Noah begin spending less time at home, captivated by their increasing illicit love for each other, day and night. They remain close, fearing any impediment that may arise between them. During one of these occasions, Nick asks, "Where did the moon come from and why was it created?" This awakens their interest. But what goes much deeper is Nick telling Noah that if love is a sin, they are the most immoral people alive. Then, one day, while Nick is purchasing a drink and Noah is waiting outside, Ronnie kidnaps him. Within minutes, police and investigators arrive at Williams' home to investigate what happened. CCTV footage identifies Ronnie as the offender. Meanwhile, Noah is discovered safe in a secret chamber. It comes out that Noah's father, Jonas, is the mastermind behind it all. He has been freed from prison and is now back in the picture. The strange man with Ronnie was Jonas himself. Jonas and Ronnie got to know each other while sharing a prison cell. So this entire situation is interconnected from the start, leaving Noah in the hands of his father, who is motivated by ambition, emotion, and retribution. Jonas never got visits during his years in jail, and it appears that his psychopathic inclinations are taking control. His primary purpose is to undermine William's relationship with Noah's mother. To follow out his plan, he grabs Noah's phone and calls his ex-wife, inviting her to meet near the dock. However, in accordance with the deal William made with Noah's mother, Jonas wants to get a bag full of money. At that point, the detectives are prepared to apprehend Jonas when he appears, but it is not that simple. Jonas is crafty. He put up concealed cameras to track their every move, making it difficult to capture him. Nick finally realized that his auto insurance included a tracker. After discovering Jonas, Nick and a detective proceeded fast to carry out their plan. Under his father's warning, Noah returned to the racecourse alongside him. But this time he had tears in his eyes. Noah drove his hero's racing vehicle. Finally, Jonas was shot, Ronnie was apprehended, and the situation was handled. That was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more material like this, and please press the like button to assist us. Also, if you want us to recap your favorite movie, leave a comment. Take care until the next time.